What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation. So before I get into Tamar Braxton, I want to talk about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, because I have been meaning to talk about them for quite some time, and I honestly just have had so much going on, and I couldn't really get into it the way I wanted to. But even with all of the time that has passed, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I did want to share my thoughts on it, and I want to know what you guys think about the both of them, because they were only married for 2 years. There's, I think, a possibility of this divorce getting nasty, even though she filed for divorce. She did not have a prenuptial agreement, neither did he, and they have their $68 million mansion up for sale right now, and he has since gotten his own place, his own bachelor pad and whatever. But this relationship, there was just a lot of issues, and I want to talk about it. So going back to June of this year, the reports were out there that they were living separate lives. A source had told Entertainment Tonight that they have been living separate lives but are not officially separated yet. And at this point, they're just doing their own thing. They went into their relationship very optimistic and thought things would change, but they haven't. Now, that was back in June of this year that was reported, okay? I believe they both contributed to the breakdown of the relationship, but here's what I want to talk about when it comes to him and his, issues, and her issues as to what contributed to the demise of the relationship. So in 2023, she had controversy surrounding her releasing an alcohol line, DeLola. And the main source of the controversy was how she released an alcohol line despite being married to a former alcoholic. So his friends say her alcohol line was the beginning of the end of the relationship. And his friends told Daily Mail that her cocktail line started the alleged divorce. His friends said it made him sick. He had to fight to get his life back after overcoming alcohol, knowing how he lost everything, including the love of his family, knowing that he could possibly relapse. She decided to start her own spritzer line for more money, as if she didn't already have enough. So that was one of the things that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And Ben was like, I have to save myself and save my sobriety and not go into a relapse. So I need to rid myself of this woman. And honestly, I don't blame him, because alcohol addiction is one of the worst addictions that a lot of people don't talk a whole lot about. You often hear about drug addiction. Alcohol is a drug. It is. But it's one that is pushed so often. Many years ago, it used to not even be allowed to have commercials for liquor. The only way it could be advertised was in print. It could not be on television commercials or on radio. And now it's common. So, yeah, I am absolutely not surprised. And I'm actually happy that he chose himself and his sobriety over her selfishness of wanting to have another product out there when allegedly she doesn't even drink. So the audacity of launching a product that was going to be something that could cause the downward spiral of the man that she was married to, this is crazy. But an old interview with Ben, where he discussed his coping tendencies in romantic relationships, it's recently come out as making the rounds. So in an excerpt from a 1999 issue of Playboy, the interviewer asked Ben if his other former girlfriends or generally pissed off at him? And he responded, mostly, yeah. What he says in the interview is like, girl, did you not know the man that you were getting into a relationship with for the second time? Because they were engaged before, and then they wound up calling that engagement and wedding off, and then many years later getting back together. And this is Jennifer's fourth marriage. Not fourth relationship, fourth marriage. He said, it's not like I was a womanizer or physically abusive or psychologically abusive or whatever. It's just that these relationships never end well. I think what happens is I end up wanting to be out of the relationship. During the course of a relationship, if you get dissatisfied and unhappy and don't say something, if you don't deal with it right then, it just festers and stays there. So instead of saying, look, don't do that, please don't act this way, I go along with it until I just don't want to be in the relationship at all. Then I create some incident or do something or just don't call, and then she's pissed. And I can't necessarily blame her at that point, since I've developed such a passive-aggressive rage that I have no sympathy and tell her, well, of course I didn't call you. If you weren't such a nagging, shrewish harpy, I'd call you. Now, I don't know what a harpy means. If you know, let me know in the comment section, but that's what he said. But that hopefully is something I'm growing out of. Apparently, he didn't grow out of it. So, like I said before, I do believe that what Jennifer Lopez chose to do for a business venture was foolish. But again, alcoholism is very serious. I know it's been in my family, and it's unfortunate how a lot of people don't talk about the dangers of alcoholism. You often hear about these celebrities having DUIs, DWIs, whatever, and a lot of times it's under the influence of alcohol. Sometimes it's other substances too, but alcoholism is very real. And for him to have had real issues with that, and for her to venture into a business deal with something like that, I just didn't think that was a great idea. So I commend him for getting out of the relationship if it meant it was saving his life, his sanity, and his sobriety. But also, based on the things that he said in this interview from years ago, that also could have been like a very, very good excuse and reason, of course, but albeit still a exit plan for him. Because I don't think he ever expressed that to her, just my personal opinion, that was something that he was not okay with, because he said in that interview from years ago that that person will do things and he'll just not really speak out on it, and he won't really say anything about it. He'll just let it fester until the point where he's just like done with the person. So instead of him having a conversation with Jennifer, he dealt with it. He had probably conversations with friends and the sources, like these people that spoke out to the outlets many months ago, up until the point now where she officially has filed for divorce, and use this as an excuse to have an out, versus him having a conversation with her and saying, look, babe, you know what I've dealt with, or I've explained it to you, how my sobriety is very serious for me, and I can't have anything or anyone jeopardize that. I am not okay with this business venture that you're getting into. J-Lo don't need the money. She could have gotten into some other business venture that would have done her well. I believe she really did love him, and she would have been willing to let that go for the sake of her relationship with him. So I don't think he ever expressed it. So I do believe that both of them contributed to the demise of the marriage. But those are just my thoughts. You let me know what you think. And speaking of marriage demise, okay, the marriage that I didn't even know existed. This whole situation is weird when it comes to Tamar and this guy, Robinson. But before I share my thoughts, I'm just going to go ahead and play what he had to say, what she had to say, and what she had to sing. Okay?
I initially was going to take the high road in this situation and not say anything. But the reality is I cannot keep getting attacked. My character can't keep getting attacked. I can't keep being thrown under the bus because someone can't control their anxiety. Someone can't control these delusional thoughts about things that aren't real. I am in no way wanting to attack anybody. My purpose in my life has always been to protect. I haven't ran to social media every time something happened to me in that relationship. Because trust me, with all the receipts and all the things that have happened, I could have. But I chose to do what a real man does, and that is protect the person that I've been with. In this situation, I'll be very clear. I've been single for the last 6 months. We have been trying to identify what that looks like, closing one chapter and figuring out what it's like to be friends again. I've been very specific about my boundaries. I've been very specific about where we stand as friends. Go date anybody you want. I'm going to date when I'm ready. I am emotionally unavailable to you, and I'm physically unavailable to you. Now, birthday comes up, plans are put in place. Of course, I want someone that I consider to be family to be involved in that, because if anybody knows her, she is big on birthdays. I don't lead people on. I'm very direct. Listen, if anything that you're doing or that you want to do comes with an agenda, I don't want to be involved in it at all. I don't want you to be involved in my birthday plans. I don't want you to come to Turks and Caicos. This is not a reconciliation time. Whatever you decide you're doing is because we're friends and because I'm still being involved in my son's life. I still would love for you to have a relationship with my children, but not to the extent that you make up these stories that aren't real. I went to New Orleans. I booked my room at Four Seasons on booking.com and didn't realize that the card I'm using, which also ends in the same 3 last numbers, was tied to something that we booked several months ago. No harm, no foul. We're talking $900. Stop it. While I'm in New Orleans for a funeral, my really good 25 plus year friend who passed away, I spent time with his family. I extended my stay because I needed time to reset. So I get a call yesterday. Hey, did you stay at Four Seasons? Yeah, I did. In fact, I extended. I gave them my card and everything's good. Why, what's up? Oh, well, I got a call about some chick who used my card at Four Seasons. I said, that's not possible. This is funny. Ha ha ha. What are you talking about? Well, I thought we can friends. We can talk about it, but this is laughable. I didn't stay with anybody at the Four Seasons. I'm not seeing anybody. Wasn't on a date. None of that. If I was, you're my friend. What do I have to hide about that? I'll just say cooler heads didn't prevail, and next thing you know, I'm on her story, and I'm being accused of things which are just blatantly not true. I have never led Tamar Braxton on. I never will, nor will I. There are people, hate the name drop, but hey, Carlos King, you got me involved in this. You're part of the reason why we became friends. But I've been very clear about my boundaries. I've been very clear about wanting to have a friendship, but not to the extent that, friends don't throw each other on their stories and call each other out on stuff. Like, look, if there was a mix-up with the card because of booking.com, that's a quick fix. It's already taken care of. I've already contacted Four Seasons, and they've already issued a refund, and they charged my card. It's that simple. Where did this random woman come in that you called a tramp? Somebody I became friends with on Instagram like maybe 3 days ago. It's just a reach, and I'm tired of having to stay quiet and not defend myself. Mental health is real, and I understand how sometimes anxiety can get the best of us, but you just don't go on social media and start attacking somebody you say that you love, that you care for as a friend, and then you post pictures of you and my daughters together, but then you're throwing their dad under the bus. It's not cool, man. And the unfortunate reality is I thought that I could be friends and try to maintain some type of friendship. But that relationship is done. And I didn't want to come out and like 6 months ago and be like, hey, I'm single again, because then people are like, oh, you're sassy. What? This is the reason why I did it last time, because of this assumption that I'm leading somebody on and that I'm cheating. I have never cheated in my life. Find a woman that will tell you I cheated on her. I'm not successful because I cheat. When I'm committed, I'm completely committed. Now, I'm not going to go there. There's a lot more I could talk about. I'm not going to do it because this isn't about revenge. This is about saying, hey, wait a minute. This shouldn't have happened. Picking up the phone and talking calmly and saying, hey, Jay, I got charged on my card. You stayed at Four Seasons. Okay, cool. But then you had to find a random narrative to go with it. It's messed up, and the truth is now there's potential defamation behind it because I don't even know this person. Never met her in my life. Never even had a DM with her. Again, here I am defending myself because of all of these assumptions and all these internet bullies who don't have a clue, not one thing. They don't know nothing about me.
All right, so before I even get into my thoughts on what he had to say fully, I'm not on anyone's side. Obviously, I don't know any of these people, but I will say that I don't fault him for responding because she's the one that started it. He was responding to what she did. She put a post out there talking about how he was cheating on her with some tramp and used her card at some hotel and this and that and the other. And now that woman that Tamar is alleging he was messing around on her with is saying that she may possibly be suing Tamar. Okay. So that's why he mentioned, there's possible defamation involved behind it. I didn't hear him say that he was going to be suing her for defamation. I believe he was mentioning that because the woman is saying that she may do it because she is not who Tamar tried to put her out there to be. But Tamar responded to him when he was responding to her. It's like she just doesn't know when to stop. But let's just go ahead and get into this.
I married you after you ate somebody whole booty sandwich. Yeah, I'm not trying to make this a big deal. I swear, it's not about, y'all, it's $1,000. It's not, make or break. It's the point. The point is that you wanted me to sit back and let you not only use my card, let's just say it's a mix-up. Okay, fine. But now it's different because you're using my card for your extracurricular activities. And let me just keep it gangster. I wouldn't even trip on that. You know what I'm saying? Wop, wop. It's not that serious. Me and your relationship status has changed. The way I see you have changed. You know what I'm saying? Just like you outside, baby, I'm outside too. Like, let's stop pretending like you is the last of the Mohicans. You are.
You know how crazy she sounds? I'm not even going to even play the rest of what she had to say because it's just so ridiculous. Her saying, just like you saying you outside, I'm outside too. Like, that's a flex. Like, seriously, girl? Like, how old is Tamar at this point? You have a son and... Oh my God, like seriously, that's not a flex. It actually makes her look bad, in my personal opinion. Worse, I should say, because she already looks bad. I feel like it makes her look worse. And speaking of looking worse... That was as worse as it gets. And I would have loved to have seen the faces on some of the people in the crowd when she was performing that. She just sounded bad. And I don't know if she's just been in such turmoil in her personal life that her vocals have just gotten off track because Tamar can sing. That was terrible. That was just terrible. But she looks terrible being on social media, calling out this dude. She claims that she married after he ate somebody's whole booty sandwich. That's what she said. Her words, not mine. Just foul, filthy, disgusting. And then prior to this coming out, I don't even know if it was like more than a week or so ago, where she was talking about how toxic her family is. And now all of this. Tamar has so much drama surrounding her. And it just seems like it never ends. And it's sad because when that stuff came out years ago, when she was with the guy that she was with after Vincent, I can't remember his name, the African guy. And then things went awry with them, and she was allegedly I won't say allegedly, but the claims were, put out there by her. And I think also her family, that she was so depressed where she attempted to take her own life. All of these things have been put out there, and I hate questioning people when it comes to the mental health thing, but unfortunately, and I know it's real because I deal with it in my family. My husband he's been diagnosed with PTSD, complex PTSD to be exact, and he's a veteran. Depression is real. It some days are better than others. So that's one of the reasons why I don't like to question stuff like that. But that's also one of the reasons why I don't like when people play games with it, because I do believe that it is a cop-out for some people who just clearly have issues. And yeah, there may be some mental things going on there, but honestly, it's just your issues, or you're just really a drama queen. It's not that you have like actual diagnosed mental health concerns and issues that need to be addressed and possibly medicated. I don't know. Tamar, she's just, to me, looking like she is the one that is the problem, and she needs to have someone that could just take her phone away from her and not allow her to get on social media. Pay somebody to run your social media, girl, and just post things that are favorable, because all this stuff, this is just tragic. And I don't have any tolerance level for it whatsoever. I said I'm not on JR's side, but I don't have an issue with him responding. I don't feel like it's like a clapback. I feel like he was responding to what she put out there. It's like, yeah, if you put this man out there like that, and they come to find out he's not even married to you anymore, he's been single for 6 months, I would not have an issue with him going out there to respond either. But all of this stuff on social media, getting us all involved, it's just really weird, and I'm exhausted with it. So I know you all are too, but let me know what you're thinking in the comments. And yeah, my God, Tamar. And let me know what you think about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. I have been wanting to talk about that for quite some time, and I'm just getting around to it. So I just wanted to share a little bit on that, and you can let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye. Don't wanna talk, don't wanna see, don't wanna feel,